Hi guys, welcome to Robin Hood Diaries. Today, hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining me. Excuse the duds, I had a doctor's appointment today. Always gotta look real good for those surgical appointments. Not that there's any pending surgery. I'm good. Anyway, how are you? I want to plow through, as I always say, this because it is an interesting, if not exciting, little guided tour, but it's not going to be teasers in the improv sense, but kind of sort of in the, this is the deal. I just literally this morning wrote down this list of 20 the most exquisite high-end places that I've ever been to, establishments, let's say. And I just, like I said, my doctor's scratch, I just put them all together and I have not looked at them yet. So in order to just get through them, I'm just gonna go down the list since they go everywhere from Beverly Hills to Manhattan to Paris. And then I'll just jump in with each one. That way it'll make it go a little bit smoother, don't you think? Okay, here we go. Ready? As previewed, the most, exclusive, exquisite places. Oh, this is from 1970 to 1990. Easy. Okay. Well, La Scala in Beverly Hills is an infamously famous high-end restaurant. A lot of these I do not know and very much doubt they are still around. Some I know that are not around. La Scala Boutique was down a ways. This was the east end of Beverly Hills, and La Scala Boutique was this like explosion, like the spring flower bouquet explosion of La Scala, which was up the block. This is where all of Hollywood Wives took place. If you're familiar with the Jackie Collins novel, that's where they were all lunching, and I have lunched there plenty of times with my mother and half of the Beverly Hills women therein. Okay. Russian Tea Room in Manhattan. I actually was able to have lunch with one of the most, composer and lyricist couple. I was able to have lunch there. That is the second time I had been to the Russian Tea Room in Manhattan. The first couple times I went with my mom. I went subsequently once on a business trip, but that doesn't count. Actually, DC picked up the tab because they have to, because it was a business trip. And if DC, I digress. So yeah, that was the Russian Tea Room. Really good food too. Okay, Ma Maison is again very, very famous place in Beverly Hills-ish, before West Hollywood, whatever. So everyone's heard of Ma Maison. Well, I used to lunch there a lot. I lunched next to Sue Menger's once. Boy, did she have a foul mouth. She was obnoxious. I can't believe that Jack Lemmon could put up with her. Anyway, long story. They were nearby, actually right next to me. But Patrick Tarai, who was the maitre d' of Ma Maison, was actually a friend of my mother's and a friend of mine. And he went on once, he left Ma Maison to have his own restaurant on Fairfax, and that's where I spent a lot. I actually have family pictures taken by him in the restaurant. So I digress. So that's Ma Maison, pretty famous, right? Okay, the Ritz-Carlton in Pasadena. It's just big, huge tea room, overstuffed couches, and lots of fancy schmancy, kind of, chintzy. Beverly Wilshire Hotel. Beverly Wilshire Hotel is again swanky, old money swanky. My mom again running Saks, 60 to 70, was very close with Helen Chaplin, who ran the Beverly Wilshire Hotel for 700 years until she moved to Checkers downtown. Within the Beverly Wilshire Hotel, there was a restaurant called El Padrino. El Padrino, again, was extremely famous. You go back, it's like, Friars Club type place for Hollywood. Had phones at the table, probably rotary dials. In fact, yes, I was at El Padrino once. Sinatra used to frequent El Padrino. There was again, allegedly, he was mad at a woman at El Padrino once and put $2 into her cocktail. Well, $2, you know what? That was the inference there. What a gentleman. Okay, SPAGO in Beverly Hills. Everyone's heard of SPAGO, Wolfgang Puck. I've been there a few times, twice at the bar, once at the restaurant, and I actually had dinner because of a friend of my mother's again, Elaine Schneider, had dinner with Wolfgang Puck's wife there. Big, like, frowsy, dark hair, and I can't remember her name. Doesn't really matter, right? Ancient history. Who remembers her or SPAGO? Pearl was this exquisite Asian restaurant in Manhattan. I was in the late 70s. Really good food. It's the first time I've ever had squab, in the lettuce leaves. And I was with somebody that I enjoyed a big laugh at the expense of a very famous dress designer as we were exiting the restaurant. No comment. Plaza Hotel, of course, in Manhattan. Who hasn't been there? Or I don't know. That's silly. The Luau in Beverly Hills. The Luau in Beverly Hills, if you can imagine just like tiki explosion, like tiki nirvana, but that you can't believe was on Rodeo Drive. Well, I'd been there. Again, tiki explosion, like walls that were all aquarium, like entire aquariums, and this little little bridge thing that you walked up to. Can you imagine? This is on Rodeo. It had like foliage around the bridge thing. By the way, owned by Walter Crane, who was Lana Turner's ex-husband. Boy, did he dodge a bullet. Anyway, okay, so El Padrino. Le Dome in the 80s on Sunset Boulevard and right near Tower Records was the place, like the fancy restaurant to go to. Very dark, piano bar in the middle. I kind of found it tacky, like some kind of gold jewelry box that you keep in your closet for Christmas to give away.